Racing takes place at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on the 1st of May 2023, and it is a public holiday, so I'm sure we can look forward to some bumper pools on what is going to be the first leg of the winter series. And it's unusual that we do have a double header in South Africa of late, but more unusual that it's on a Monday.
Yeah, Rahil. Well, as we know, of course, this race meeting was washed out last weekend, so they've postponed it to this Monday, the 1st of May, clashing with Hollywoodbets Greyville, but it's nice to have a double header on a public holiday. And it's a tough card again. You know, we were chatting off air. Off season, the Western Cape only race 4 or 5 times a month. And on a generalised basis, they've got the best pool of horses in the country. And given the paucity of racing down there at this time of the year, they're not able to duck each other. So these races are tough for all the right reasons, because the quality is deep, not because the races are weak. They're tough because the races are strong. They're very interesting, and it's another very good card, but it's going to be hard to nail your colours to the mast.
Absolutely, and pick 6 could be the way to go on the day, especially if you're looking for a bit of cash. It could pay a decent dividend. Now, race number 1, which is going to be the start of the bar pot on an 8-race program, 1,400 meters the distance. This is a maiden juvenile plate for the fillies. Get your bar pot bets on by 12.55. Current favourite is number 7, Below the Deck. Justin Snaith, Richard Fourie team up after running 4th on debut. She's currently at 11-10, has found a bit of support in the market, along with number 4, Women's World, who's trading at 5-1. And then the interesting runner has got to be number 12, Ticket to Vegas, who's priced up at 7-1. There's quite a big discrepancy in the market when it comes to numbers 7 and 12, just based on their last start. Both were comfortably beaten behind Distant Winter. That horse, I think it's Quick Fox or something of that sort. Quick Trip, that's it, from the Brett Crawford yard. Didn't do much to frank the form, but these two horses could possibly dominate.
Yeah, Quick Trip was very disappointing. She pressed Distant Winter in that same race all the way to the line, but I didn't like the way Quick Trip went to the gates. And I think the warning signals were already there in the canter pass, but that's done and dusted. We're chatting about this race. Obviously on form, nothing to choose between Below Deck and Ticket to Vegas. The draw does favour marginally Below Deck. But given the fact that they finished so close to each other, really 11-10 and 7-1 is hard to understand. You might argue that Below Deck was making its debut and therefore has more scope for improvement and can reverse the order with Ticket to Vegas, and that is certainly the case. I'm not suggesting that Below Deck can't win it, but Ticket to Vegas has got to be a live runner as well. I also like a little bit of number 9, Royals, and you've got to fancy number 4, Women's World, a bit. So 7, 12, 9 and 4 for me are the leading lights. I think at the very minimum in the first leg of the bipod, I've suggested a pick 6 later on without any bankers, but I think in the bipod at the very minimum you've got to include numbers 7 Below Deck and 12 Ticket to Vegas. I'm going to also include Royals.
That's horse number 9, Royals from the Glen Cotton yard. And Keegan DeMello gets a ride, so that's certainly a horse to keep an eye on returning from a rest. So numbers 7, 9 and 12, those are going to be the 3 horses for Graham in the first leg of the bar part. Next up is going to be race number 2. And race 2, the start of the place accumulator over 1,400 meters, a maiden juvenile plate. And this looks to be a cracking race and possibly a form line to follow in time. Monumental, 2-1 in the market. It's 11-2 about KOMI. 6-1 for Jacks, and then 7-1 in Better Bar those. Now, Monumental, his last start was an absolute cracker behind that Future Variety from the Candice Bass Robinson yard, and it was sort of a blanket finish on that day. I think with natural improvement back up to 1,400, he's going to go very well. And this horse is related to Gladiatorian, if I'm not mistaken, and I thought his debut run was eye-catching. So I make him the horse to beat. Obviously, healthy respect for KMI. 11-2 in the market. I think it's a decent price given that last time out, I don't think things went his way. I think with Richard Fourie in the irons for the first time, I thought he could run a cheeky race and possibly be the main danger to Monumental.
Monumental, obviously eye-catching run last time. As you said, it was a blanket finish. He was finishing very strongly from slightly off the pace with Monumental. He's drawn out at number 10, which is a little deep for the 1,400 meters. Now, we spoke in race 1 about a discrepancy in the market. Well, here we have it again. Number 2, Avignon, finished ahead of Monumental when they ran behind Spring Palace. Avignon is drawn in gate 2. He's 10-1. Monumental is drawn out deep. He's 22-10. Monumental is obviously improving, as is Avignon. Yeah. But you cannot have the one at 22-10 and the other one at 10-1. They're too wide apart in the market. I think that Avignon offers quite good value at 10-1. I like another little bit of a roughie in the race. And I think it's more a gut feel. That I think he's got more to come, and I'm referring to number 7, Press On Regardless. I think that's going to run a better race. I think this is quite a tricky race. Monumental probably deserves to be favourite and can certainly win it. Healthy respect for number 11, Kayamai, the progeny of Denon Platina, are coming along the right way. But Kayamai also finished behind Avignon last time, and he's also drawn out even further to the outside than Monumental. So I don't think this race is cut and dried. Lord Fifield must also have a chance. That Spring Palace form is interesting because they all ran in that race. Avignon, Lord Fifield ran in that race. Monumental ran in that race. Kayamai ran in that race. So I think there are quite a few with chances. I think this is a tricky little race. Monumental probably deserves to be the top choice, but I make Avignon and press on regardless. Two horses that are 10 and 12 to 1, big runners in the race. And this could be a nice quartet race.
Yeah, certainly. Avignon could be some decent value, especially given that he's drawn in gate number 2 and his last 2 starts have been a much improved effort. So with Jabu Jacobs aboard for Pete Porter, perhaps that's a horse to keep a very close eye on in race number 2, the start of the place accumulator. Race number 3, which is going to be the start of the pick 6, and this race is set to be run over 1600 meters. Get your pick 6 bets on by 2 on the afternoon. And when we have a look at your fixed odds betting market, it's Bardolino at 7 to 2, Give Me More Time at 9 to 2, along with Intimidator, 5 to 1 about Thunder Master, and then 7 to 1 and better bar those. Now, Graham, I thought quite a tricky race over 1600 meters. It is a class 4 event, and there are quite a few horses in with chances here. Bardolino, I think he's maybe been a bit frustrating to follow on a day where you think he could run well. He just sort of lets the side down, but last time out his run was quite encouraging behind Sugar Mountain, and he ran a cracker there. Louis Mkoto aboard. He remains on a mark of 80. He's certainly a horse that can go close, but I don't think the race stops there.
No, it is very competitive. I've gone out on a limb with my suggested bet today. I don't often tip a pick 6 on these shows. It's hard enough to tip place accumulators or buy pots. It's hard enough. And I've tipped it on the basis, no bankers, that I've narrowed each leg down to what I thought are the group of runners from which the winner will come. Of course, there are more runners to consider, and because such is the competitive nature of this race card and racing generally in the Western Cape. And of course, with the going having softened up, I made that point last time, with the going having softened up a little bit, now that we're entering winter and we've had our first rains, there are a number of horses that are going to improve that really enjoy the sting out of the ground. I do make number 7, Bardolino, my first choice. I think deserves a win. Last time it won, it beat Rockpool. We know what they think of Rockpool. Since then, its form has been game inconsistent. As you say, a bit frustrating to follow. I think that number 6, Give Me More Time, is very much alive. My third choice would be number 2, Intimidator, and then number 5, Thundermaster. So the 4 horses that I'm throwing into the opening leg of the pick 6 are numbers 2, 5, 6, and 7. I'm hoping that will get me through. Difficult to know what to make of the 2 recent maiden winners. But I think they're both progressive. I'm referring, of course, to number 1, Prometea, and number 4, Kelp Forest. I think the connections of both those horses believe they are above average. But I'm going to sit on the fence in their first run after maiden wins in this quite tricky handicap. I wouldn't be surprised if Prometea won. I wouldn't be surprised if Kelp Forest won. But I'm going to rely on numbers 2, 5, 6, and 7 to get me through. My first choice being Bardolino. I think he deserves a win for his recent consistency. Ready or Not can also come back to form. Has got a bit of a tricky draw to overcome and quite a lot of weight to carry. So I'm happy to bypass Ready or Not. But again, Keegan DeMello, Dean Cunningham, you wouldn't be surprised if it won. But I'm going to be in the camp of Bardolino, backed up in the first leg of the pick 6 by numbers 2, 5, and 6.
What's your thoughts on horse number 11, Keisha Raz? I know he does return off rest, but he's last out behind Charlie Croker. He is 3.5 kgs better off with Give Me More Time. Obviously a deep draw, but course and distance suits?
It is course and distance suited. Jockey arrangements would suggest he's not the stable elect, although they haven't always got it right in recent times. We've seen many a Snaith winner without Faria aboard and him trailing in behind down the field. But I think that I'd like to see Q Shiraz have another run before I make him a selection of mine.
That's race number 3. Quite a competitive event, and it's all up to you. Are you going to play the first leg of the pick 6? But Graham narrowing his selections down. Now, race number 4, which is another class 4 event, this time for the fillies and mares. 1200 meters the distance. Get your bets on by 20 to 3 on the afternoon. Favorite is number 4, Where's the Party, at 33 to 10. Pokalpa is at 5 to 1. Spywing 11 to 2, along with Hear My Voice, Symphony of Light, and then it's 10 to 1 and better bar those. Now, the source, Where's My Party? I thought her last start behind Touch of Grace was on the up, improving. I thought it was quite an encouraging effort. And I think that she could run well. I know that she does return off a rest, so maybe could just need a run. But I think Shane Humby could have this filly in the right type of race for her to be extremely competitive and perhaps get that second career victory.
Well, Shane Humby, of course, is looking to crack it down in the Western Cape again after starting his career down there, being with us up here in KwaZulu-Natal for a while, and he's been back in Cape Town now for quite a few months, and he'll be hoping that number 4, Where's the Party, can get him back into the winner's circle. But it's a very tough Class 4 handicap for fillies and mares over 1,200 metres. A betting move early for number 6, Hear My Voice. Craig Zaki rides for Paul Reeves. And that is interesting because if you take away the last run, which was disappointing, but she suffered interference, she clipped heels early in the race and was never a factor thereafter. They've backed this one from 10-1 into 6-1. And here's one of these horses that I think will appreciate the softer track. And another is number 9, Little Miss Pink. Now, I went for number 9, Little Miss Pink last time out. She ran an okay sort of run, but that was still while the track was firm. It was a while back. I think she could come out fresh and run a big race at big odds. So I'm certainly throwing number 9, Little Miss Pink in, as well as number 6, Hear My Voice. But number 4, Where's the Party? And number 3, Symphony of Light are the other two that I'm going to throw into the pick 6, which leaves me with many holes. I understand that. I'm putting numbers 3, 4, 6, and 9 into the pick 6. If you want to add more, number 8, Spy Wing also has a chance of upsetting, as does number 10, Mar Black. We know, of course, that Touch of Grace is a scratching.
Yeah, absolutely. And Where's the Party, the horse to beat? But you heard from Graham, numbers 3, 4, 6, and 9. Those are going to be the 4 horses that he does play around in race number 4. Race number 5, the start of Jackpot 1. And this is 1,400 meters the distance. It is a listed race, World Sports Betting Sweet Chestnut Stakes. 3:15, the time you need to get those Jackpot 2 bets on by. And your fixed odds betting market, when we have a look at the market here, it's quite a competitive event, Graham, because obviously Justin Snaith has a few horses in with chances, but the horse that keeps me interested is horse number 1, Happy Chance, from the Brett Crawford yard, just based on the fact that last time out she was quietly fancied to perhaps win fresh, but obviously 1,200 on the sharper side for. I thought she ran an absolute cracker behind Golden Hostess, who we could see in the Guineas come the 6th of May at Hollywoodbets Greyville. I think the 1,400 meter trip is going to suit her. She's got that inside draw, and she's going to be the top choice for me, but obviously healthy respect for quite a few in this race.
Very good race, the World Sports Betting Sweet Chestnut Stakes, 1,400 meters. Again, as we said earlier, and we keep saying it over and over again, because these are all quality fillies. You're entitled to like number 1, Happy Chance, drawn in pole position. Good run over 1,200 meters behind Golden Hostess. And, she's not rated 106 for nothing. She's in here with a big chance of just 56 kilograms. 5, Gimmy's Lass is actually weighted to beat Chow Bella on the basis of the Western Cape Championship run, but that was way back in November. So there shouldn't be too much to choose between Gimmy's Lassie and number 9, Chow Bella. You've always got to like number 8, Gold Poker Game. She does enough always to keep you interested, and she's got a competitive weight of 55.5. And then, of course, you've got the early anti-post favourite, although a very weak favourite, and that is the well-tried and tested quality number 8, Marina. Never really easy to know what to expect of Marina over 1,400 metres. She's never won over this trip, but she's run well over the trip. And some may say she's a bit of a surprising favourite. So I think this is definitely not cut and dried. There will be some who like Quintus Light. I believe Quintus Light may be better down the straight, but she has every chance of proving me wrong in the Sweet Chestnut Stakes. So yes, I'm with you on Happy Chance. I do like a little bit of Gimmy's Lassie, Gold Poker Game, Marina, and Chow Bella. If pressed into a corner, I would make number 9, Chow Bella, my first selection. But it could go either way. Happy Chance, Chow Bella. I think they're all alive. It's a quality race, difficult to nail your colours to the mast.
Most definitely a difficult race. And Chow Bella at around 7-2 in the market. Happy Chance at around 9-2. Perhaps some swingers and exacta boxed with those 2 horses in race number 5. Race number 6, which is the Champagne Stakes, a grade 3 event over 1,200 meters. A cracking event where the average rating of the race is a 108. It is an A-class event. Favorite Bereave at 15-10. Rio Curari at 22-10. 7-1 and better bar those. Now, this horse Bereave obviously was quite an encouraging and impressive win last time out when he beat Gimme a Prince over 1,200 meters. Gavin Larina aboard once again. does return off a rest, but this horse loves running fresh. 5 runs for 3 victories and 1 second. The wet conditions will suit him nicely, and course and distance-wise, no issue. So there's no doubt he's a horse to beat in this lineup.
Adam Marcus has looked after him very well, and he would have targeted this race, the Champagne Stakes Grade 3 over 1,200 metres. But obviously, whenever you come up against Rio Carrari, you can never be that confident, because we know that Rio Carrari is a champion. Although he's been struggling, he's running well in recent times. But Bereave has been backed in from 2-1 to 16-10. There's an enormous amount of confidence about Bereave. Gavin Lorena's only partnered him the once and is flying all the way to Cape Town to go and ride him again. He rode him when he beat Gimme a Prince. So if you're looking for a potential banker on a tricky card, the number 2 Bereave probably comes as close as you're going to get, maybe without question a bit later on, but we'll get to that race. But I think at the very minimum, you've got to include number 8, Rio Carrari, along with Bereave, into your pick 6 play. His last 3 runs show that he's back to his best, well, maybe not his best form, but he's back to form. He does have 62 to shoulder, but he's only giving 1.5 kilos away to Bereave, and there's not been much to choose between them, so Rio Carrari's got to be alive. I think those 2 you could get away with. If you want to throw one more in, then obviously number 3, Countdown. He loves running down the straight at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. At the weights, he will struggle to beat Bereave. But, you know, racing is run on turf and not on paper. So 2, 8, and 3 for me, but I think Bereave is going to be hard to beat.
I'm just going to throw number 1, We're Jamming, into the mix. I know that obviously he's not the stable elect here from the Justin St. Yard, but I was quite disappointed with his run in his penultimate start behind Bereave. I thought he would have run a much better race, and he actually found a bit of support on that day, drifted out in the market. But as a 3-year-old that does enjoy the course and distance, he's a horse that I think could be a player if he pitches up.
Yeah, we've, they've tried him a couple of times beyond 1,200 metres, failed each and every time. So he comes back to the Kenilworth 1,200 metres. He's run there 5 times for 3 wins and a second. So on the surface of it, you're entitled to like number 1, We're Jamming. But overall, I think he's been disappointing. And when you see that his last win came at the expense of Street Outlaw, and Street Outlaw has been disappointing, then you've got to start questioning the value of that win. So although it wouldn't be a total shock to see We're Jamming winning, I'm happy to pass him by and focus on Bereave and Rio Carrari and possibly Countdown. But yeah, obviously, given his track record, if We're Jamming was to win it, you wouldn't be totally shocked. But you can't throw them all in.
Absolutely, yeah. It does look to be a race where Bereave does have the race and the field quite well held in this lineup, and he's no doubt the horse to beat. And as you heard from Graham, perhaps a potential pick 6 banker if you are looking for one on the day. That's horse number 2, Bereave, in race number 6, which is the Champagne Stakes. Race number 7, which is going to be the World Sports Betting Variety Club, mile over 1,600 meters. This is race number 7. 4 is the time that you need to get involved. Favorite without question at 2-1. 28-10 about Pomp and Power, who was supremely unlucky last time out. It's 5-1 Gem King. It's Raiding William at 6-1, 7-1 in Better Ball. Those now. Graham, in the previous race you mentioned, obviously maybe another horse to banker, number 4 without question, he's actually turned the corner ever since getting that maiden victory, because he beat Ravensword. Ravensword's only, I think, a 2-time winner down here in KZN. And he got the victory out the way. And then his 2 post-maiden efforts, I thought, well, okay, I didn't quite see him to be able to hit this type of level. But his run behind Rockpool in the Politician Stakes, and then obviously his run last time out in the Cape Derby was 2 eye-catching performances. Richard Fourie aboard this time out. He's riding him for the 2nd time. The mile is ideal for him, and definitely the one that they possibly have to beat here.
Yeah, it's got to be a question mark that he's stepping back to 1,600 metres. I think he'll appreciate the give in the ground. He's obviously a very progressive 3-year-old son of the United States. Good run in the Politician Stakes, good run in the Cape Derby. He's earned his rating of 119. I'm working on the basis that Pomp and Power, I think, might just need the run. I don't think it's in Pomp and Power's favour to step back to 1,600 metres. I'm sure Richard had the choice. And so Pomp and Power, I think he's warming up his engines for bigger fish to fry in KwaZulu-Natal. I think Pomp and Power will probably be on his way to KZN in the near future. So I'm assuming that Pomp and Power is going to need the run more than without question. So it's a big assumption to make, because I could be horribly wrong. But I think without question is the leading light from the Snay stable, and he's got quite a few runners in the race. What stops me bankering number 4 without question is number 6, Gem King.
Yes.
Now, he won this race last year when it was a 3-year-old only race. It's been thrown open to all ages now. He came back to form last time. He loves it in the winter. And I just think that Gem King, now that he's shown he's back to his best form, although, he only got up to beat Tout à Fait, a short head, it was for far better run than what he had shown in his previous 3 or 4 runs. So I think we can assume that Gem King is back to its best. He's a 4-year-old. He's meeting without question at level weights. And I think the 2 of them are the leading light. So I'm going to take my chances in this leg and just go with numbers 4 without question and number 6, Gem King. I'm assuming Pomp and Power will need the run. Without question, should have the beating of King Regent. And, it's raining William. Well, he needs to show just how good he is. I know he ran 3rd in the Gold Rush, but that wasn't a classic race by any manner of means. So it's going to be interesting to see how It's Raining William runs, because he's the half-brother to Rain in Holland, who ran such a cracker over the weekend. But I'm going with without question to win it. Gem King posing the biggest danger. Obviously, Pomp and Power. No surprise if he were to put his act together.
Numbers 4, 5, and 6, certainly horses that have claims in race number 7, which is going to be a cracking contest over the 1600-meter trip. Race number 8, the final race on the day, over 1600 meters, and this is the Hollywoodbets Bright Future Class 3 event. And race number 8 goes off at 5 o'clock. Your market has got Montine at 9-2. This horse has found early support, 11-2, down 9-2. It's then 9-2 about Sugar Mountain, 5-1 Future Swing, 11-2 Nevada King, 7-1 and Better Bar those. Now, horse number 6, Narina Trogon. I was quite shocked that he actually went off at 10-1, 8-1, whatever the price was last time out, because he looked to be slung in that event with just 52 and a half. We don't complain. We don't complain when we get the cash, but
it was one of our rare good strikes,
yes,
Narina Trogon last time.
And he won a nice race. I think he won a bit better than the margin does suggest. So, yeah, definitely some decent value once again.
Yeah, I just can't believe he's priced up at 8-1. I don't know if it's because Devon Ashby's riding him, but I mean, Devon Ashby rode him last time and did us a really good turn at 10-1, getting up to beat Ketchikal. I think there's more to come. Sylvana out of Beach Beauty, you would expect him to be a late maturer. He's by a champion sire, out of a champion race mare, and it looks as if he's still got a lot of improvement to come. So I'm excited that he's in this race, because I think at around 8-1 he represents great value. It's no one-horse race, absolutely not. So Narina Trogon, for me, very good each-way value, certainly worth a strike. Future Swing has won his last 3 starts. Richard Free, Justin Snaith, you'd be foolish not to respect them in an open race. Easy to back at 11-2. 4 Montine, always keeps you interested, always runs a genuine race. Sugar Mountain, I think, is drawn wide and probably better over 1400 meters. And that's why I'm making Narina Trogon the stable elect, notwithstanding that Elder DeMeyer is riding Sugar Mountain, because maybe he just can't get down to the 57.5 of Narina Trogon. And also, why not leave Devon Ashby on the horse? Because he rode it last time and he rode a perfect race, and Narina Trogon won. So I'm very much in the camp of Narina Trogon. 6, 7, 4, and 12 for me. But I'm excited to watch Narina Trogon, and I'm hoping we can strike again.
Yeah, definitely. Number 6, Narina Trogon, Candice Bass-Robinson, Devon Ashby, certainly the value in the race, and the horse that both Graham and myself are going to go for in race number 8, which does look to be a race that has quite a bit of depth to it, quite a few horses in with chances. So that's going to be the top choice for us, but you are entitled to include quite a few more into the last leg of the Pick 6. Now we're going to move along to the suggested bet part of the show, and Graham will take us through his suggested bet, which is a Pick 6. And Graham, hopefully it's a Pick 6 that we can get involved in and we can catch it on Monday.
Well, I stuck my neck out, and I'm only suggesting a percentage because it's not easy to narrow them down. In the first leg, which is race 3, numbers 2, 5, 6, and 7, that's Intimidator, Thundermaster, Gimme More Time, and Bandolino. Bandolino, the top choice, but throwing in all 4, 2, 5, 6, and 7. The second leg, I'm adding a horse to my list there. 3, 4, 9, and 10 is what I initially suggested, but then the money came for number 6, Hear My Voice, and I'm going to throw that in because they've backed it from 10-1 to 6-1, and on its best past performances and with the sting out of the ground, I think you need to include 3, 4, 6, 9, and 10. I do like a little bit of number 9, Little Miss Pink, at big odds as well. The next leg, again, I'm adding in a horse. Initially only 1, 6, 8, and 9, which is Happy Chance, Gold Poker Game, Marina, and Char Balla, but I think I'm going to add number 5, Gimmy's Lass. 1, 5, 6, 8, and 9. Then in the next leg, which is the Champagne Stakes, I have included all 3, 2 Bereave, 3 Countdown, and 8 Rio Carrari. If you want to cut the perm down, you can take a chance and leave out Countdown on the basis that Bereave should have his beating at the weights. But those are the 3 principles. In the penultimate leg, numbers 4 and 6, without question. Gem King is my backup, without question, possibly a banker. And in the last leg, numbers 4 Montine, 6 Narina Trogon, and 7 Future Swing. And again, Narina Trogon is our top choice, and we're hoping that he delivers for us again.
Yeah, absolutely. And Devon Ashby, Canis Bass Robinson, hopefully that combination can be to the 4 in race number 8, which is set to go off at 5 o'clock. Graham, thanks very much for your time. All the best. And you're off back to home now, which is Cape Town for you?
No, I'm sticking around for a while. I'll be in KZN for a while for Champion Season. The odd visit down to the Western Cape.
Looking forward to Champion Season?
Absolutely. It's going to be an absolute crack. It all begins next weekend on the 6th of May with the running of the 2 guineas, the 2 World Sports Betting guineas, and of course the Independent on Saturday Drill Hall Stakes. What a way to start the season.
Yeah, we're looking forward to KZN Champion Season, which gets underway on the 6th of May. All the best, guys. Hopefully Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on Monday treats you well and you have a profitable one.